Good morning and welcome to Thesis, another installation of our garden diary blog. The sound of birdsong is absolutely filling the skies at the moment. I mean, how lucky are we to be able to appreciate that in such fine weather? Last week I gave you a short demo on how to take a basil cutting from a lupin, and this week I thought would be the ideal opportunity to show you how to do a similar cutting on dahlias. You'll find it difficult to come across dahlias if you're not getting access to garden centres, but I'm sure you can find them online. If you're an obedient gardener, you'll have lifted your dahlias from last year and you'd have stored them for over winter. They need to be stored in a frost-free place. We did, and if you recall, a few weeks ago, we brought out our trays and we brought them into the greenhouse. So I'm going to show you how to take cuttings from one of those dahlias, Dahlia Zorro. So here we have our crate with our Dahlia Zorro tubers in it. They've been out in the greenhouse for the last couple of weeks and they've started to put on lots of young, fresh, green growth. You'll have lifted your dahlias last autumn, you'll have stored them in a nice frost-free place over the winter, and then you'll have brought them out and put them somewhere bright in the spring, but still under protection. I'm going to take cuttings from this. You can see that we don't store ours fully covered. It's just a way of conserving compost, but they'll grow nicely. I'm not taking a cutting from this one because you can see we've got the tuber and the young shoot out of the soil, so that will go on to produce this year's flowering spike. I'm actually going to take a cutting from this one here, which is still partially submerged in the soil. So taking your sharp kitchen knife, you're again doing the same action we did with the lupins. You're doing a straight down cut. So long as you've got a sharp knife, this should be easy. And we're just going to pull that out gently. And you can see we've taken a part of the tuber, okay? And it's actually got a little root there on it already. So we're going to take that, and that's going to produce our cutting. Okay, so I've taken a few extra cuttings to go into this pot as well. I've trimmed down the meristem from the one that we took the cutting from. It's really important that you've got a piece of the tuber because that's got the growth cells in it, and we want that to produce lots of young roots. I've trimmed off any excess leaves, leaving only a couple at the top. You can, and many people do, use a rooting hormone, but so long as you keep them well watered and in a sort of warm place, they should root really easily. So I've taken my cuttings. I've got 4 Dahlia Zorro cuttings here. The next thing to do is to fill our pot. Now I always like to use a clay pot, but it's entirely up to you if you've got lots of plastic pots lying around. I'm also using just a multi-purpose compost here, and I've put a little bit of perlite through it. That's what those white flecks are. That just helps to keep the soil open, allowing air and moisture to pass through, and it'll also help with the establishment of the young roots. I'm just going to fill up the pot with that all the way to the top. Okay, and like that. And the trick is a few taps just to help settle it down. Now, the next trick is to push down your dahlias just to the node, just to that joint there, and do it around the edge of your pot. The edge of the pot heats up quicker down the centre of the pot, and that way the roots will get going much quicker than if it was in the centre. If I was using a rooting hormone, I'd have dipped it just before I put the cuttings into the pot. So I'm going to water these, and in approximately 2 weeks we should expect to see some root growth on them. And that's as simple as that. This is Rhododendron Augustinii Electra. It's won an award for garden merit, and it's really hard to describe and to show the colour of this flower through video. It's really something you need to see for yourself. It honestly is electrifying. And there concludes another entry to our garden diary. I hope that you're enjoying keeping up to date with what's going on here at Thesis. I'm sitting here amongst all these wild primroses, and the smell is just unbelievable. It's gorgeous, and hopefully this time next year you'll be able to visit for yourselves. Don't forget to keep up to date with what we're doing on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and our own website. Of course, that's thesis.com. And I hope that you'll be able to join us again next week. Keep safe and keep gardening.